What's goody, YouTube? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to yet another reaction video. If you're new here for the first time, my name is TMR, and since you clicked on this video, you might as well subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please make sure you click the notification bell and make sure you give me a big thumbs up and also leave your comments down below. What's goody, YouTube? How's everyone doing? Welcome back, TMR gang, and welcome back to another reaction video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and today y'all we're going to be doing something a little different. And for you who have never clicked on this channel, welcome. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel before you leave. And for my TMR gang, we're going to do something a little different. We're still going to be a reaction, but y'all, today we're going to be reacting on a reality TV show that I have been watching sporadically, but I have really gotten into it this season. So today we're going to be reacting on Married at First Sight. And this is season 12. And what I'm going to do here is a recap. So for you all who do not know, who just clicked on this video because you want to see my face, Married at First Sight is a reality TV show where experts get together and match 5 couples together. Now, the experts comprise of 3 different people, and they all get together. Obviously, it's kind of like, it's like a modern day dating site, but this is where they exclusively work with 5 different couples. And this season, you guys, they have picked 5 new couples. And when I tell you, it's a lot going on this season thus far. We're only on episode 6, and already I feel like half these couples are not going to make it to the end of the season. In this season, the 5 couples are on the show are Virginia and Eric, Claire and Ryan, Brianna and Vincent, Haley and Jacob, for the infamous couple, Paige and Chris. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you guys a recap of what's been going on between episode 1 and episode 6. If you are a person who does not watch this show and you've been following me, I would suggest that you go ahead and start watching it, because if you like the reality TV of YouTube, you are definitely going to get into the reality of this Married at First Sight. So this season, I noticed that they're doing their episode in 2-hour increments. So that's some good watching, you know, good full 2 hours, especially if you're at work and you can, you know, use your cell phone or your iPad, whatever mechanism you have, and then you definitely can watch this show. It comes on Wednesdays on Lifetime, and once you watch the episode, you can always come back to TMR and we'll do a recap of what happened. So in this video, you guys, I'm going to kind of just explain to you the couples and what I think about the couples that's on this season. In the next episode, which is next week, Wednesday, I will do a full recap of that particular episode. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Some notes, you guys. So sometimes I'll be looking down because I had some notes, because like I said, these episodes were 2 hours apiece. I've watched episode 1 through episode 6. So I'm going to try to sum it up. I don't want to make this video super long because I want you to get to the end of it. I'm going to go ahead and break down each couple to you guys based off my thoughts and opinions of the couple and of the show. So like I explained to you in the beginning, this reality TV show is basically matchmaking, okay? So these experts put these couples together based off their interest, their attributes in life, what they have going on, obviously what physical appearances they want in a person. And basically what the show is about is you meet your match at the altar. So you have no communication with this person. You don't know what they look like. You don't know anything. What you know about this person is when you walk down the aisle. Isn't that scary, you guys? I couldn't imagine marrying somebody that I laid eyes on for the very first time. Like, we know with relationship is work. It's a complete job. So to basically commit yourself to a person and don't even know what their last name or middle name is, to me is a lot. An experiment that they're doing, but these are people who are looking for love and probably have looked for love and haven't really found what they were looking for, obviously, and they're deciding to take a leap out on faith and are using this show to find their everlasting love. What I have noticed about this show is, although these are experts who are putting these people together, but I'm not really sure of how they're really putting these people together, because once you start watching the episodes and you see these people meet, you can just kind of tell that tension is there, because again, these people are nervous. You have just literally married someone in the name of God and you've never even laid eyes on them. So the first couple I want to talk about is Virginia and Eric. So Virginia and Eric they were kind of one of my favorite couples. I actually had two, but the more that I've been watching through episodes 1 through 6, they're not starting to be my favorite. Okay, I can tell there's a lot of situations with these two. So Eric is 34 years old and Virginia is 26 years old. Eric is a pilot, and Eric has been also married before. And he's been divorced from his first wife, I believe he said 3 years or so. And Virginia has never been married. She's never lived with a guy, other than she had a roommate, but she's never lived with anyone that she's been romantic with. So episode 1 starts off for all these couples where we see the bride, or the soon-to-be bride, basically telling her family what's getting ready to happen. The family members or friends already know what they have signed up for, and now the episode 1 starts off with each individual couple telling either their friend or family that they've been matched and they're going to be getting married in 2 weeks. So obviously everybody's like, what? You know, yes, I'm getting married in 2 weeks and I've never laid eyes on this person. I don't even know what the last name is. So Virginia meets with her family, tells her family that she's getting ready to get married, and her family seems somewhat supportive. They seem supportive. Virginia, she's 26 years old. She's very young, and as you watch her throughout the episodes, you really see how young-minded Virginia is. Eric meets with his family and friends and let them know that he's being married. Now, Eric, to me, you guys, reminds me of a hopeless romantic. He's been married before, and that marriage did not work out. He's a pilot for the armed services, and his job requires for him to be gone 4 and 5 days out of the week. So he's not really at home. And based off what he said, his previous wife didn't like that. She wanted somebody that was home more, and she just didn't like being by herself. Eric is really into his career. He loves what he does. Not willing to give up his career just yet, but he's wanting to find someone that will be able to be receptive to the type of career that he has. So based off these experts, they match him up with Virginia. Now, Virginia she's real quirky, okay, y'all? Virginia is really quirky. She's very young. She's a party girl. She said many times throughout the 6 episodes how she loves to party. She loves her friends. She just loves to hang out, and she just really, really loves her friends. So after both of the couples prospectively tell their family and friends they're getting ready to get married, then you start seeing in the first episode, they're getting ready for wedding day. Virginia goes and she picks out her dress with friends and family. Eric goes and he picks out his tux with friends and family. So obviously, you guys, throughout this, there's things that goes on. They talk about their feelings and why they want to get married and how they feel like they hope this is a good opportunity for them to find love finally. And so you see different segments of them having like small interviews. The show is interviewing them, asking them like, how are you feeling leading up to the day? So the actual wedding day happens, and Eric is standing up front waiting for his bride-to-be to walk through the door. So Virginia is walked in by her dad. She's given away by her dad. And it's so weird, you guys. They literally meet each other at the altar, and that is the very first time they laid eyes on each other. Now, Eric stated when he first saw Virginia, he thought she was gorgeous. He thought she was beautiful. It's what he imagined in a woman. He's just so elated that he found someone that is gorgeous, right? Virginia had the same sentiments. She thought Eric was really handsome. But you guys, I just noticed that Virginia did a lot of laughing. She did a lot of laughing. To me, Virginia is very childish to me, you know. That's my feeling about Virginia. She seems like a nice girl. But as you notice throughout the episodes, Virginia likes to drink. And she likes to drink a lot. Say their vows to each other. They embrace each other with a kiss. You know, and Eric leans in to give Virginia a kind of a subtle kiss. Because remember, I don't know you, lady. I'm kissing a stranger. Virginia pulls him in and plants this real big kiss on him. And Eric was like, wow. And he was kind of like, okay, well, I guess this gonna work, you know. So he wasn't taken aback by the kiss. He actually embraced it and thought it was a good thing. So soon after they walk out of the venue and they go to get ready to start for their reception, they go and meet in like this little room where they kind of like exchange, hey, how are you? My name's Eric. Your name's Virginia. I'm from here. You know, so they kind of like meet each other really quick. And then once they do that and they kind of find out that they have some similarities with each other, then they go to the reception. And at the reception, as soon as Virginia walks into the reception, she's looking for a drink. The girl drunk the whole way through. But what I found very odd about Virginia and Eric on episode 1, Virginia was real clingy. She kept kissing Eric and kissing on him, and Eric was like, well, hell, if she's kissing me, I'm gonna kiss her back. And that was kind of weird to me, especially with, although yes, you're married, but you just married a stranger. I'm not saying that you should have been shunning him off, but I really felt like they should have used that day, even the reception, to spend a lot of time with each other, trying to figure out who each other were, and if they even had the first, you know, attraction. Now, obviously, they had a physical attraction to each other, meaning, I think you're cute, I think you're cute. But to me, based off the first episode, I thought Virginia was just throwing herself on Eric, and it just seemed very weird to me. It gave me really weird vibes. But as you watch the episodes, you notice that Virginia is a party girl. She loves to party, and that's what she does. You know, she goes to bars, she hangs out in the bars a lot with her friends, and maybe that's the behavior with her and her friends. After the reception, they dance the night away, and then they go upstairs to their room. Their first night of marriage. And we know historically that what you do on your first night of marriage is you consummate your marriage. Once Eric and Virginia got up there to their room, Virginia pulls out the bottle and she's like, let's have a drink. And so Eric was like, you like to drink a lot, huh? And she was like, yeah, I love to drink. Here, you want to drink? And you can tell Eric is not a drinker. I take Eric more as a sociable drinker, but because of what he does for a living, Eric can't be under the influence all the time. So I took it as Eric doesn't make a habit of being under the influence, but Virginia, who's young, 26 years old, and a party girl, that's all she wants to do. At first, I took Virginia drinking as her being nervous, but as I started watching more into the episodes, that's just her habit. She likes to drink. And if you watch up to episode 6, you notice that Eric starts inheriting her trait of drinking, even though it's not his thing. And he says in episode 5, like, they had got drunk that night. They had got sloppy drunk. And you can really tell Eric was hanging out with all the guys from the couples. And you could tell Eric was very inebriated. He was slurring his speech. He could barely hold his head up. And then that next morning, Eric told Virginia, like, we can't drink like this. Like, I got sloppy drunk. And that's not my normal behavior. We can't drink like this. And so Virginia was like, well, I like to have fun. I like to do this. This is what I like to do. And Eric's like, that's fine, but we cannot do it like every day, all the time. Like, because of my job, I can't do this. And what I took from that was there's a big age difference. There's an 8-year age difference. And Virginia is young. She's used to hanging out, having little to no responsibilities. She obviously doesn't have any children. She has a dog. And Virginia just lives like by the seat of her pants. Eric is more reserved. He's stationary. He has goals, objectives. He has a career, and he's more driven than Virginia. So again, you guys, like I said, the experts got these people together. So I would think if drinking is not Eric's forte, when you put down the screening of the type of person or type of woman that you want, did Eric not put down, I want somebody who is not a drinker? Because I don't drink like that. Like, I would want somebody who's maybe a sociable drinker or an occasional drinker. Even for Virginia. Did Virginia put down that she wanted someone that was 8 years her senior? Like, was that put down? So that's what I'm saying. They said that this show is these people are put together by experts. Are you really using expertise putting these couples together? Especially seeing Virginia and Eric, y'all, they just don't seem equal to me. It seems more like Eric can be Virginia's sugar daddy. Like, I get sugar daddy vibes with Eric and Virginia's situation. But as you see throughout the rest of the episodes, when we get to episode 6, that Virginia and Eric are very vocal about one of the other couples' situation, which is Paige and Chris. And we're definitely going to get to Paige and Chris because, y'all, they're a whole hot mess. If y'all think Virginia and Eric is a mess, Chris and Paige is a whole hot mess. Virginia and Eric did not consummate their marriage on the first night. They did once they went to the honeymoon in Vegas. And for all the couples, I believe that's where they all consummated their marriage. Other than Chris and Paige, y'all, because they knocked boots on the very first night. But anyway, we gonna get to them, okay? So Virginia and Eric did consummate their marriage on the first night. And I think once that happened, to me, for Virginia and Eric, it gave Eric a false perception of the relationship. I think Eric is really, really trying to hold on to Virginia because he really feels like this is his final chance. And I hate that he feels that way, only being 34 years old, living in the city of Atlanta. But I guess his options, you know, he's been running at a brick wall, hence why these people opted to go to the show to find true love. So Virginia and Eric they're just wow. And I think it's Virginia with Eric that makes them wow, because Eric by himself seems like a really cool, laid-back guy. However, with Virginia and Eric together, it doesn't scream we're going to be together vibes. Because even with Virginia and Eric, Virginia is kind of 50-50 if she wants children, because she's only 26 years old. Eric is, I want children. My mom is ready for grandchildren. Like, my family is ready for, you know, children. And Virginia's kind of like, well, can we wait 3, 4, 10 years? Like, she wants to wait because, again, you guys, she's only 26. And I think a lot of Virginia's reservation with not wanting children is because she really doesn't know Eric. Like, how can you say, you can say if you want children or not. Like, people know going into any relationship if they want children or not. Like, if children are in your future, you know that, right? But to me, in this situation, like, these people have just met. Like, they've only known each other like 6 days. So it's kind of hard to say, yeah, oh yeah, I can give you a baby next year. You know, when I don't even know if I'm going to be with you next year. So for all these couples, they have went from episode 1, which is introduction, getting married, meeting the family, and moving to episode 6, which is ending their honeymoon. So they've been in Vegas on honeymoon. All these couples went to Vegas on their honeymoon, and I believe they were there like 4 days for their honeymoon. So that's the time where people were really, these couples are really, really trying to get to know each other. Because like the old saying goes, you do not know a person until you actually live with them. So these couples have been living with each other in a hotel room, in a suite, trying to get to know each other. In episode 5, Virginia and Eric got into a confrontation with Chris and Paige, more so with Chris because of Chris and Paige's situation. And Virginia and Eric inserted themselves into a situation that had nothing to do with them. We're going to talk more about that because for me to explain that to you, I would have to explain Chris and Paige. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. So Virginia and Eric will be mentioned again, but they'll be mentioned towards the end when we talk about Chris and Paige. So the next couple I want to talk about is Haley and Jacob. Y'all, so Haley and Jacob are very quirky to me. So Haley has never been married. Jacob has never been married either. But Haley hasn't been in a relationship in 7 years. Based off listening to Haley tell her story about relationships, the last 2 relationships she had were really hard relationships. Haley discussed in episode 1 when she was letting her family know that she was getting married. She met her match. She got matched. She explained to them how she's always been the bridesmaid and never a bride. I think Haley said that she had been in like 18 weddings as a bridesmaid and she has never been a bride. So to me, Haley gives me my clock is ticking vibe. Obviously, she opted into this experiment of marrying someone at first sight, hoping that the expert gets it right. So Jacob on the other hand, Jacob is a loner, to me. He's very quirky. He's like an 80s guy, fanny packs, you know, themed t-shirts. He loves his family, he loves his friends, he loves his dog. He's very meticulous, very clean, very, you know, everything is uniform for Jacob. And Haley seems that way as well too. But I think for me, as a chemistry for them, I don't get chemistry vibes. And the reason why is on their first day of when they got married and when they first saw each other for the very first time, although Jacob did say he found Haley to be attractive, Haley didn't. She said Jacob was nice looking, but she didn't give me like dewy eyes when she saw Jacob. So again, you guys, when they walked down the aisle and married each other and took their vows and married each other, after the wedding, all the couples go to this little room where they kind of like get to know each other. And Haley gave me very standoffish vibes. Haley seems kind of prudish to me. Or even, I don't know if I'm getting prudish, shy, timid. I don't know what I'm really getting. I do understand that Haley said that, you know, she's lived alone for a very long time. Like she literally has not been in any type of relationship in 7 years. And she's not really giving me, I like Jacob. In the beginning, when they first got married and when they went to the reception and even the first night they spent together, I thought there could be a possible hope for Haley and Jacob. But as the season has went on in the episodes, and now that we're at episode 6, and once they went to the honeymoon, I'm not getting that Haley likes Jacob. And I'm going to be honest with you. Haley and Jacob consummated their marriage on the honeymoon. And before they consummated their marriage, I got that maybe it could possibly work once they get to know each other more. But it seems like once they consummated their marriage, it gave me that Haley is not really interested in Jacob. And it's bothering Jacob's ego. Because I think once they consummated that relationship, Jacob started feeling Haley in a different way. And Haley is not being receptive to that. So I personally don't think that they're going to make it to the end. Well, I think they will make it to the end of the show, but I don't think they're going to continue on with the marriage. Right now, as of episode 6, I'm getting that they're probably going to have a divorce with each other, but we obviously are going to see as the episodes go on. But I don't get a match with Haley and Jacob. Haley has a wall put up, and she's not really letting Jacob enter that wall. Maybe, you know, once they start living together, because if you know anything about the show, once they come off the honeymoon and they go back to their home city, now they move in together. And they did talk about, Haley and Jacob did talk about how living together would look. And I think the way Jacob explained how his setup is, Haley wasn't really getting welcoming vibes from him. And I just don't think that Haley is really into this situation. And I think more after she had sex with Jacob, she's not really feeling Jacob. And I think she doesn't really want to tell him that because she's not trying to hurt his feelings. But at the end of the day, like to me, in a relationship, you have to be honest. Honesty is the best part of a relationship. I think Haley really needs to be honest with Jacob of how she's feeling, because just because she's feeling that way today doesn't mean she's going to feel that way in 2 weeks. But if she does not tell him, then, you know, because Jacob is really trying to like pull things out of her. He's really trying to get her to open up, and Haley keeps shutting down. So I'm hoping within the next couple episodes, they meet with one of the experts, and I think the Pastor Cal, they meet with him and really sit down and explain their differences and how, you know, they're feeling with each other. I'm hoping they can do that, you know, individually and collectively as a couple. The thing is, with all this, you can't force anything. Like, and I think with this Married at First experiment, some of it seems forced, you know, because these people know, like, oh my God, I went through all this to get matched with somebody. I need this to work. So I get a lot of forced vibes with some of these couples. But I don't really have a lot about Haley and Jacob, because out of all of them, they seem the quirkiest. Jacob is really, because at first Jacob was very quiet and he's starting to open up. And it seems like Haley is reversing now. Now she's shutting down. And I really feel like once they had sex, Haley did not seem like they were compatible. That's the feeling that I get from Haley. So the next couple we're going to talk about is one of my favorites is Brianna and Vincent. Y'all, I love Brianna and Vincent. More so, I really like Vincent. Vincent is Dominican, okay? And Brianna is black. And Vincent gives me I want to be down with you vibe. I really like Vincent. I think he seems like he's a really nice guy. And Brianna seems like that's what she needs. Brianna is known as the bossy girl. And if Brianna don't tone down some of that bossiness vibes, she gonna axe her way right up out of a marriage, okay? So let's talk about Brianna and Vincent real quick. So again, in episode 1, Brianna meets with her family and friends and let them know she's been matched. She's getting married in 2 weeks. Vincent meets with his family and friends, let them know he's been matched. They're going to get married in 2 weeks. Seems like for all the couples, all the family, for the most part, seems supportive. And the friends seem supportive in their decision. So that's good. You do need support, especially going through something like this. You especially need support from family and friends. So they do seem very supportive. Brianna, to me, you guys, out of all of them, she was like the prettiest bride to me. Brianna is just so beautiful to me. Brianna is very chocolate and she's just really, really pretty to me. Vincent was very handsome. And when they first met at the altar, you can tell instantly it was attraction. Like they both were attracted to each other instantly. Like you could see the sparks shooting up between the two of them. So I really enjoyed seeing them getting married because it just seemed like at first sight they were physically attracted to each other. So after the wedding, they walk down the aisle and they go out into the room to kind of, you know, have a conversation with each other. They hit it off really quick. Conversation was just spewing between each other. Vincent, again, he seems like really, really cool. And Brianna let him know, you know, I am very independent, self-sufficient. You know, like my family said, I'm bossy. And Vincent at first was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I can do a little bossy. But you notice as you watch the rest of the episodes, Brianna's bossiness became a problem for Vincent. So they come out of the room, they have their conversation, they go into the reception, they dance the night away, they have a really, really good time, and then it's the night of the wedding. So they go up to their hotel room, and again, they get to know each other, and they talk. They did not consummate their marriage on the first night. They basically spent the night talking and stuff. But what they said the next day is they really felt a sense of comfort between each other. And they, like I said, you guys, their attraction was magnetic to me based off what I saw visually when I first saw them together. You can tell that when they saw each other, you can see possibilities in this couple. So they go to the honeymoon, and at the honeymoon is where they consummate their marriage. And it seems like it brought them closer together. But Vincent had a situation where he got a call that his grandmother had a heart attack and was rushed to the hospital. And because Brianna was very caring and consoling and being there for him, Vincent found an attraction in that. And that's how they got together that night. And, you know, which, like I said, you guys, that's beautiful to show that in his time of need, she was there. And you could tell Vincent really talked about that a lot. He really admired Brianna for being so receptive to his needs. And it seemed like that's the type of person that he needs. Now, Brianna is very smart. She's very intelligent. She's an engineer. And Vincent is an auto broker. And Vincent said the reason why his previous relationship broke up is because the girl he was with didn't like the fact that he was trying to go into business for himself. Seemed like she wanted security. And Vincent, you know, being an entrepreneur, sometimes you can't reassure security when you're being an entrepreneur. But it sounds like Vincent understands what it takes to take care of her family and being responsible. And I like Vincent for that. But I did notice in episode 5 and 6, he basically had to check Brianna because they were getting ready to go on an excursion in Vegas. And Brianna was rushing him. She was rushed. She was being very bossy. And I think the reason why I got that vibe, y'all, I think Brianna felt like once she gave that man the ooh na na, ill na na, she felt like she had snatched him in. And since you might have got his attention, but at the end of the day, that's still a man that you're dealing with over there, you know? So you got to let the man lead in a relationship. I'm not saying that you can't be a boss and you can't lead, but, you know, you got to let him feel like a man. It just seems at times that Brianna was trying to demasculate Vincent, and I think Vincent felt that, and he was like, hold up, sis. Like, nah, I like you and all. You cute and all, but you're not going to demasculate me. Like, that's not what I came here for. I want a partner, not a boss, right? So, again, you guys, I feel Brianna and Vincent might make it. I think once the show is over, their relationship might continue. At least I'm hoping so. My fingers are crossed for it. But I do enjoy their chemistry together. Like I said, I really like Vincent. And Brianna seems like she can use... To me, Brianna needs somebody just a little bit more forceful because she's so outspoken and bold. She needs somebody to kind of bring her down a little bit. That's just my opinion. Because, you say I'm bossy. I think Brianna gives me I'm a princess vibes. So that's how she wants to be treated. And you definitely can be treated like a princess by your man. I mean, I can't see why you wouldn't, but you don't have to demand it. I think if a man wants to treat you like a princess, he's just going to do that because that's what he wants to do as a man. So our next couple is Claire and Ryan, you guys. So Claire and Ryan are funny to me. I like her. I like her. She's very spunky. And I like Ryan because he's real chill, laid back, quiet. And you find out a lot about Ryan and Claire between episodes 1 and 6. So like I stated for all the couples, in episode 1, they do like the meet and greet with the family, letting them know I've been matched. I'm getting married in 2 weeks. They go pick out their wedding gowns. They go pick out their tux for the groom. And then it's wedding day. So I noticed that Claire is marrying a black man. So it just, right there, just gave me, when Claire probably put down her interest, she didn't have any interest in color. So she was very open and receptive to whatever nationality that she was matched with. So she was matched with Ryan. And Ryan also said he's dated white women. So that's something he was used to. So I assume that that's something they put, because I would assume when you're, trying to be matched with somebody, you're going to tell whoever's trying to match you what your preference is as far as race and nationality. They have their wedding day. Again, they looked really beautiful. Claire's dress is really pretty. So Claire and Ryan seem like a really cute couple. I hope they do make it. I'm starting to get iffy with them because they have a lot of differences. Ryan is very religious. Both his parents are ministers. And Claire seems very opposite of that. She did say in one of the episodes that she went to Bible college for a year and then she ended up dropping out because it's something that she doesn't want forced on herself or her children. And Ryan, on the other hand, was like, well, that's how I was brought up. I mean, both my parents are ministers. So I feel like that could be a problem because, you need to be on the same page when it comes to religion. I do understand sometimes when people meet and they're of different religions, sometimes you can be persuaded to, switch your religion depending on the situation and the religion if you have a belief in it. But Claire is very adamant about you're not going to force religion on me, and Ryan is totally opposite. So I think that could be a problem, especially with them having children. That could potentially be a problem, and especially with Ryan's parents because they're both ministers. So if Ryan wants to go to church and Clara never goes, I think that could be a problem with the parents looking like, well, why does she want to go to church? So again, when I say this, when the experts are putting them together, I'm wondering, did Claire specify that in her answers of the type of man that she want? Did Ryan specify that? Did he say, I want a God-fearing woman. I want a woman that's Catholic or Christian or whatever his religion is? Like, was that specified? Because if it was, then why wasn't that match made? Because when it comes to religion, they are on two different plateaus when it comes to that. And, for a lot of people, religion is very important in relationships. So I can see that being a problem. Also, Claire is like a hopeless romantic. She's dated all different type of guys. She's been in love several different times. But in either episode 4 or 5, Ryan told her, I've never told anybody I loved them. So Ryan basically said, I've never been in love. So Clara was like, you've never been in love, so why are you getting married? And that was a question for me too, because like, if you've never been in love, why is your first action is to get married? Like, because how do you know this person that you're meeting at first sight, you're going to love them? You know, now obviously you can grow to love somebody, but who knows how long is that going to be? Most times when people get married, you know, traditionally, they love each other already and then they get married. So for these two, for Ryan to say he's never loved anybody, I can see why it was quick for him to do this, because he's never loved anybody. So for him to get to know someone and then love them is something obviously he's accustomed to doing, although he's never said that he's loved someone. But for Claire, on the other hand, she just seems like every guy she gets with, she falls in love with. And I think she's scared to do that with Ryan because she doesn't feel like Ryan will love her back, especially with the situations with religion. She's kind of she's also another one that's on the fence about children. Ryan wants children. So we know in the next episode, they're going to be planning to move together. And I don't get that Ryan and Claire will be good roommates. I really don't. Claire gives me, I throw my clothes all over the house vibes. And Ryan gives me, I fold everything up and put it in its place. So that right there is going to be a difference that they're really going to have to get, you know, accustomed to. And that's just what I get, but we definitely will continue to see. So Ryan and Claire also consummated their marriage, and Ryan is very private. He told Claire, look, don't tell people that we knock boots. But obviously in the confessionals, Claire spilled the beans, and I'm thinking to myself, sis, when Ryan find out, he might drop your tail, because he told you don't be telling people his business, and she told people their business. So that's something Ryan didn't want people to know, which I understand. I mean, what goes on in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom. But, you know, again, Claire is just so, she's very outspoken. I like Claire, though. I think Claire is a nice girl. Me, personally, I think Claire would have been a better match for Jacob. And then Haley would have been a better match for Ryan. You guys let me know down below what you think. But I think Claire could have brought something out in Jacob, and that Ryan is so reserved, and how reserved Haley is. I think those two could have been a better match for each other. I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting. So finally, we to the end, you guys. Chris and damn Paige. Oh my God, y'all. They are a whole entire mess. So as all the couples, Chris meets with his family and friends and let them know he's getting married for the first time. Paige does the same with her. She tells her best friend that she's getting married. She's been matched. And Paige just seems like, I want love. You know, Paige seems like the type of person that she's been looking for love in all the wrong places. And she's been let down a lot of times. And Paige just gives me, I put up with a man vibes. Like, she put up with any old thing. That's the vibe that she gives me. And she's hoping, I think she's doing this experiment because she's hoping that she can truly find true love. Like, Paige is going into this with, you know, with the Bible, with God. Everything is God-like. God put this together. You know, God did this for a reason. Like, everything is God. Chris also speaks of God a lot because I believe Chris' father is a pastor as well. Chris has an ego out of this world. Chris is not a nice person. So we get to the wedding day, okay? For Chris and Paige, we get to the wedding day. Paige was beautiful. She's very beautiful. Paige is also a very chocolate girl, but she is gorgeous. She has a really nice shape, a really nice body, and she's just a gorgeous girl to me. And she has such a beautiful personality. She's very mild-mannered, soft-spoken, and I love that about Paige. So they get ready. Paige gets walked down the aisle, and you can tell as Chris sets eyes on Paige, he looked like, oh, shit. Y'all, he was not attracted to Paige at first sight. He was not. Paige was not what he was looking for. And once again, if the experts are putting you together, I'm pretty sure you told the experts what you want, right? So, to me, Paige is not the type of chick that Chris was looking for. Chris, to me, he gives me IG model vibes. Like, he want an IG model. Paige clearly is not that, right? And once he seen Paige, he was let down. He even told that in the confessionals, like, he was not attracted to her at first sight. So I guess Chris thought maybe I get to know her and I grow an attraction. And even after they do the whole meet, you know, where they have their conversation before the reception, And Chris says in the first 15 minutes of them actually having a conversation, oh, I was just engaged 3 months ago. You guys, when I heard that, I was like, what? You were just engaged 3 months ago? Y'all, Chris is a whole creep. His ego is like up here. Chris he's a business owner. I believe he owns a Subway, and he's an account executive or account executive for some company. So, you know, he's doing well for himself. And I believe that's Chris love the ladies. Chris gives me, I'm a hopeless romantic, but Chris also gives me, I'm a dog, right? He just gives me that vibe. So within the first 15 minutes of their conversation, Chris tells her that, like, oh yeah, I was just engaged 3 months ago. So Paige was like, wait a minute, you were just engaged to a woman 3 months ago? Okay, but then why are you getting married and just was engaged 3 months ago to a whole different woman? And Chris was like, because there were some trust issues between me and her. We didn't have trust issues. And I'm like, okay, that's, you know, but even with Paige knowing that, like, she's like, well, hell, I'm standing here in my wedding dress. Like, what I'm going to do, run for the hills? You know, Paige being a woman, she was like, okay, well, you know, no one's perfect. We all have faults. We going to work through this. So they go out to the reception, they dance, they drink, they, you know, get to meet the families and friends. And so the reception is over. They go upstairs to their hotel room. Chris tells the girl that he wasn't physically attracted to her when he first saw her, but yet they still had sex that night. And Chris' explanation for that was, well, maybe if I had sex with you, I could grow an attraction with you based off your booty. And Paige went along with that. Like, y'all, for the life of me, I don't understand where Paige is thinking. Like, Paige is an accountant and she seems like she's intelligent, but when it comes to common sense, it doesn't seem like she has a lot of that. Because if a man sit up here and tell you he's not physically attracted to you, then sis, why did you sleep with him? Now, I understand that this is your husband on paper, but this is also a total stranger. Like, you haven't even known this man 24 hours. You didn't owe him anything. If anything, you should have held back on your booty, okay? Because if he couldn't respect you enough to even keep that to himself, and I understand people need to be upfront and honest, but damn, that brutal in the first 24 hours? Like, it wasn't even 12 hours and you being that brutal? Paige, I guess she just felt like, well, maybe if I sleep with this man, he'll like my sex, and maybe that'll make him fall in love with me. Which, sex is never the reason to fall in love with somebody, but this is what Paige does. So the next morning, when they get up and they have this conversation, Paige was just like, what? So she meets with the parents. Because, you know, the next morning after they spent the night together, the prospective couples meet with each other's parents and friends. And so Paige tells the family, Chris's family, that he said he wasn't attracted to me, but yet we slept together. So the daddy, Chris's father, was like, what? Chris' dad was just giving me weird vibes, eerie vibes, because it was like he was liking on Paige more than Chris should have been liking on her. And then Chris's mom says to Paige, once she tells the family, basically, he wasn't attracted. He said he wasn't attracted to me, but yet we still slept together. Chris's mom was like, well, had y'all been drinking? You know, and it's like, what? I mean, what does drinking have to do with... And it gets worse. It gets worse after that. So once Chris lets Paige know that he was formally engaged, in episode, I believe it's either episode 2 or 3, Chris gets a phone call from the ex-fiance. She's 6 weeks pregnant. So not only have you just told this girl you think she ugly, but you like her booty, now you tell this girl, oh yeah, and by the way, I got a baby on the way in about 9 months. And Paige is being receptive to all this. Y'all, Chris he is a smooth talker, and he know how to talk to women out their panties. And Paige is the type of woman that she's very naive, and she just listens to whatever a man tells her. Because I just think that Paige, again, has looked for love in all the wrong places. And at the rate Paige is going, she's never going to get a respect from a man because she is too submissive. She gives in way too quickly. And Paige is trying to honor the vows, and she's trying to honor God. And I understand all that. But sis, what about him honoring you, Chris? Like, this man has came through the door with all type of baggage, luggage, just sit on top of your lap. And since you just keep letting him put luggage after luggage on top of you, and you at no point yet has she said, oh, okay, you got enough suitcases on my lap. Like, she hasn't said anything. She's just letting this man pile all this stuff on top of her. You know, Chris is a user. And now I see why the ex-fiance is an ex-fiance. And it probably had nothing to do with her, but a whole lot of him. And Chris is telling Paige things just because he feels like he can manipulate Paige like that. Like, Chris seems very manipulative, manipulating his way through this relationship with Paige, what I feel like is totally unfair. And again, I'm going to say this for them. If the experts are putting you together, why would the experts put you in a relationship when you just got out of a relationship, fiance, 3 months ago? Like, what expert would even think that you was ready to move on to a whole nother, not even relationship, but hell, a whole marriage? Like, what expert would? I'm starting to think that maybe Chris left that part out. I don't know why he would, because if you were able to tell the world that you were just married 3 months ago, I'm pretty sure you told the experts that too. Oh yeah, and by the way, I was just engaged 3 months ago. So if you were able to tell the world that, I don't understand why you wouldn't tell the experts. And if you did tell the experts, why did the experts feel like it was okay to put you in this situation? Y'all, again, we always have to understand that this is reality TV, and reality TV is all about the shock and the wow factor. And I really feel like they purposely put this together. I think Paige was probably made aware of this. Obviously, it's made to look like she didn't know, but I'm pretty sure she probably was made aware of this. So, and you know, it always has to be that one couple on a reality show, that the one that just stands out and everybody talks about. The reason why we're here talking about it. But I'm telling you guys, it's just drama after drama. While they were in Vegas on the honeymoon, they just keep having sex with each other. And it seems like every time they have sex together, Chris drops another bomb on Paige. It's like this man, it's like he likes manipulating women, and he does it at all costs. Like, he doesn't care how people feel about what he says. He just says things and just like, okay, well, deal with your pain. I'm about to go over here and have me a drink, and you just sit there and deal with your pain. Like, that's what Chris gives me. Chris is very manipulative, and I really feel like Chris needs to meet his match, and Paige is definitely not his match. Because Paige is so much like, let me put blessing oil all over your forehead and let me pray on your whole body. And Chris is looking at a whole nother body. Paige probably would have been a better match for Vincent. And Brianna would have been a better match for Chris, because she would have called Chris out on his shit. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Again, you guys let me know down below. So they get together in Vegas. All the couples get together in Vegas, and they drop the bomb that Chris has a baby on the way. So obviously everybody's sitting around looking appalled, because they like, okay, well, Chris, why are you here? Like, why are you putting all this on this girl, and she's literally known you 4 or 5 days? Like, that's a lot to put on somebody in less than a week. Virginia sticking her nose in business that didn't need to be. So she says to Chris, well, is it yours? And Chris looked at her like, which I didn't blame Virginia for saying that, because, well, hell, is it? Like, Virginia don't know you. She don't know you. She don't know who the chick you talking about. It's just kind of odd that you tell us now that you just said I do to a woman 5 days ago that you got a baby on the way. Why are you sure it's yours? Like, I felt like that was a legitimate question. But obviously, Chris, in his feelings and feeling some type of way, blew up at Virginia about it. Eric, trying to defend his wife, basically was like, Chris, you know, pipe it down. Like, bruh, this is my whole wife over here. Like, I'm going to need you to simmer it down. And again, Chris just walks off because he felt like the other couples was being more supportive to Paige than they was to him. To me, Chris needs to understand that, of course, they're going to be some more supportive to Paige. You come here with all this extra baggage that you didn't tell anybody beforehand. So how you want somebody to feel sorry for you when you just, because he says in the confessional that he had just had sex with the girl 6 weeks ago. Now, 6 weeks prior to the day he got married, you knew you was getting ready to get married. Like, you already knew that you was in this show. It was being set up. Like, but then you go and sleep with this woman, and you know you about to go marry a woman in like 2 months. So again, you guys, like I said, Chris is just very immature. He's very childish. He's very egotistical. And I don't think he's ready for anything. I think Chris needs to put himself in a position where he just keeps dating until he finds the one that can deal with his ish. You know, Chris wants to keep saying that he wants to get with someone that doesn't want him for his money. Well, prior to Chris being on the show, yeah, nobody knew you had any money unless you just volunteer the information. So now that you've been on the show, well, obviously everybody know now that you got a little change in your pocket. So I'm being honest with you guys. I don't know if Chris and Paige are going to make it. If I was Paige, I wouldn't continue on with him because there's going to be a lot of drama with this whole situation with this baby. When Chris told Paige that the chick was pregnant, Chris said the girl has known that she was pregnant. She just decided to tell him now. Obviously, after she found out you going on the show to marry a whole nother woman. Oh, yes, sir. And by the way, I got a baby on the way. So I don't get them being together long. Chris said to Paige while they were in Las Vegas that he's had conversations with the woman. And one of the conversations was how it would look like them co-parenting. And Chris said that he doesn't want another man raising his child. So Paige was like, okay, so what you gonna do with me? So if you don't want another man raising your child, what you getting ready to do with me? And wait a minute, did you just say that you've been talking to this woman since you've been married to me? So y'all, Chris has been very deceptive through this whole situation. Like Chris has been deceptive since the time he met with the experts. Chris hasn't told the truth yet. And I don't understand why Paige doesn't see that. I understand that she has an obligation to the show, but it's like, maybe, I'm going to be honest with you, maybe a real man will see how Paige is being treated by this goofball Chris and really come and sweep this girl off her feet. Because I'm hoping that they don't continue the marriage on. I hope they get divorced. Chris more than likely needs to go to the woman that he's about to have a child with and marry her. Like, to me, that would be the right thing to do. You need to go and marry her. Let Paige find somebody who really loves and adores her. So, y'all, it's a whole lot going on this show. Again, thank you so much for listening to my long commentary and my thoughts about these couples. But out of all of them, I feel like Brianna and Vincent might make it to the finish line. I feel like Virginia and Eric probably will make it to the finish line only because it's a forced effort on Eric. I personally don't feel like Virginia and Eric should because Virginia needs to grow up. She really does need to grow up. And I think maybe Claire and Ryan could possibly make it to the finish line. I definitely don't feel like Haley and Jacob are going to make it. And I hope Chris and Paige don't. Because Paige deserves so much more better. I don't even know this lady. But by me watching her all these through 6 episodes, sis deserves a whole lot better than this creepo. Like, Chris is a whole creep out here. But you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, make sure if you don't watch this show, make sure you get a hold of it. If you've been listening to my commentary all the way through and you sound like it's something that you would be interested in, go to Lifetime. It comes on Wednesdays. Definitely get into this show because I will be back here next week to give you my thoughts on episode 7. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. And remember, sub what you love. Bye-bye.